Energies, Boucher Automotive Group, Tri-City National Bank, your local carrier dealers, Lakeland University, Z-Bar,
Canton, we're tied!
Cannon and Dunphy, Loyal Family Renovations, Tsunami Express Car Wash, Steam Fitters Local 601, Big Fish Contracting, SVA, a professional services company, WeatherTight, and Network Health on the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
We Energies want you to keep this important safety message in mind. Before you start digging, planting, or landscaping on your property, call 811 to have underground utilities marked. Calling 811 at least 3 business days before you plan to dig will help you know what's below and can prevent a hazardous situation. Our representatives will mark the underground utilities on your property for free. So remember, stay safe and call before you dig.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Did your home suffer damage from a storm or severe weather? Don't stress any longer. Loyal Family Renovations treats all of its customers like they've joined their personal family, and every project as if the work was being done at their own house. Loyal Family Renovations has a leg up on the competition due to the personal relationships they've built with insurance adjusters over the years. Loyal Family is family-owned, and the loyalty belongs to their customers. Contact them today to get your free home inspection. LoyalFamilyRenovations.com.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service.
It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time.
With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey.
Riding with you every mile since 1977.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion, or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Covering the Crew all season long on WTMJ. It's Brewers Extra Innings. Now live from American Family Field. Here's your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
You know, some guy that talks on the radio tweeted earlier today when he saw the lineup card. You know, Isaac Collins hitting second, Christian Yelich having the day off. You're facing Cy Young Award winner Tarek Skubal. You know what? Maybe they score 10 tonight or something, right? That guy's an idiot. Oh, that was me. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Brewers Extra Innings. 9-1, the final today in the opener against the Detroit Tigers. Craig Kashan is going to join us in just a little bit. Now, if you've been listening to the show for this season, you know that we normally start the show with a highlight recap. But in your interest and in mine, in a 9-1 game, you get the picture. You get what happened. They got beat, and they got beat pretty bad. We will hear from Pat Murphy a little bit later on in the program. He had a very just coy and honest conversation about these blowouts and what's gone wrong with the Brewers when it snowballs like this. We're going to talk at least the silver lining of the fact that Elvin Rodriguez saved the bullpen today. I think that's a very significant thing to monitor, in the fact that if the Brewers win this series, and we don't have a post-game show on Wednesday, but if the Brewers come back and win this series, the next 2 games, it is because of Elvin Rodriguez and what he did tonight, in part. Because 5 innings, being down 9-0 when, you know, there's not a lot of juice in the crowd, you're not pitching to what you believe your standard is to this point. Like, in your mind, like, I'm delegated to 9-0 duty, like, or 8-0 before he gave up the homer. Like, I'm delegated to 8-0 duty. Like, come on. And he came out and pitched. So kudos to him. We'll break down that positive. We'll talk about what went wrong with Tyler Alexander. Also the defense. I mean, Alexander had his own error. Joey Ortiz had an error that led to the big inning that really got things going for the Tigers in the second. And then the big 4th inning, having 4 more runs scored there. And it's more than a tip of the cap. It's just like a round of applause. Tarek Skubal, man, seeing it in person, that is some incredible talent coming out of that left arm. For him to get better as the night went was extremely impressive to watch. The phone number is 855-616-1620. Again, 855-616-1620. That's the Saudi Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line. If you want to join us here on the program, you can call, you can text in. We'd love to hear from you tonight. So it's a 9-1 loss. The Brewers did not play all that well, to be honest. And yes, they scored a run in the 9th with 2 outs and when they were down to their last strike. But this game was over in the 5th inning, and quite frankly, with the way that Scuba was throwing, it might have been over in the 3rd inning, given he went 9 up and 9 down to start this game. Tigers had 9 runs on 9 hits, no errors. Brewers had 1 run on 5 hits, all singles, 2 errors. Tigers left 5 on base, Brewers left 6. It only took 2 hours, 23 minutes in front of 21,000 here on 4-1-4 day. You know, the Brewers lose on the home opener and on 4-1-4 day, so maybe these unofficial Milwaukee holidays just haven't been their thing this year. Maybe Easter Sunday will be their thing coming up this weekend. We'll take our first break at the program. Craig's going to join us in a moment as well. Stay with us. Brewers fall 9-1 on 620 WTMJ.
April Brewers action rounds out with the matchup against the Tigers and Athletics. Catch the series opener April 14th as the first 10,000 fans get a Brewers t-shirt designed by Unfinished Legacy. Then get Brewers collectibles at back-to-back games against the Athletics. First up, Peanuts Night on April 18th, featuring a Franklin bobble with special tickets. And don't miss a Brewers football jersey for the first 25,000 fans April 19th. Get set for an action-packed April at Brewers.com.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Steel walk behind, zero turn, and stand on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel. Let's go mow.
You just can't pass on Les's Glass. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
It's a loss, 9-1, but the series is not over. I mean, maybe it's this AL Central lose a blowout in the first game and then win the next 2, just like with the Royals during the home opening week. The series is not over. The season is not over. The Brewers are back under 500, 8-9, and now working their way back up on the run differential total. 855-616-1620 again is the phone number, 855-616-1620. Hey, Milwaukee, you're looking for a commercial banking partner that truly understands your business needs? Look no further than Fifth Third Bank. With a local team right here in Milwaukee, they know how to hit it out of the park every time. For 15 years, they've been serving our community with industry-specific expertise and local decision-making that helps your business thrive. Experience the unique commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Member FDIC. Craig Kashan. Okay, well, that escalated quickly. 9-1 was the final today. Tyler Alexander didn't have it. Elvin Rodriguez did, but it was too late. First of all, before we get into Tyler, it just felt like a sloppy day for the Brewers. 2 errors, not being able to turn double play, and then it was unfortunate luck for Alexander to get hit by 2 comebackers. It just never got off on the right foot with the way this game started. Despite striking out the first batter he faced, Alexander then has a battle for a walk with Torres, then the double by Ibanez, and boom, you're on your back foot, and the Brewers never competed beyond that.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about the defense yesterday, and I brought up that they just seem a little bit out of sync, and I think clearly that continued tonight. Even past the errors, later in the game too, there was a fly ball into the gap in right, and Mitchell and Frelick almost collided out there, before that catch was made as well. So I think they need to simply clean up what they're doing. They're certainly capable of it. All of these guys were here for the most part a year ago. So that definitely has to clear up. You can't have, look, tonight, Alexander issued 3 walks. There were 2 errors, and all 5 of those runners scored. Those are absolute killers. So, you're just so far behind the 8 ball when that stuff builds up fast, as you mentioned. And we know, look no further than that Arizona game 2. Things can happen pretty fast against this team right now, and that's certainly not the place they want to be.
Well, now they're going to turn the tables because until they scored in that 9th inning, they were going to have the exact same scenario that the Diamondbacks were in when the Brewers faced them over the weekend, right, where they didn't score for 17 straight innings. Yes, they scored 1 run in the 9th, so it's technically not 17 straight innings. But so the Brewers haven't scored in 17 straight, and then you're facing a really good pitcher tomorrow in Jack Flaherty. So can the Brewers reverse the tables and make a comeback win late tomorrow and then win in exceptional fashion on Wednesday? We'll have to wait and see. But Tyler Alexander, it's another reminder, this is not Tyler Alexander's intended role. The fact that he's already had to make 3 starts in the month of April is not an excuse, but a reminder of, yes, he's a big league pitcher, and yes, he's on the team for a reason, but this wasn't the reason he was brought to the team, is to be, not to be a starter, but to be a swing man, a long man, maybe a situational lefty here and there. And the reason for that is because the tools that he has at his disposal get exposed when you get multiple looks at it, and it puts him in a tough position. It puts the pitching staff in a tough position. Alexander is going to have a role on this team, but right now he's a little overexposed.
Yeah, really good points. And it's just tough for some, especially pitchers such as Alexander, to be pressed into this situation. And look, his first 2 starts, you got some, some impressive moments. And so, he put the team in position to win. He hardly gave up, 2 runs in his first 2 starts. Now, he didn't go real deep, but still. And now he's facing his old team as well. I mean, we had shots of him, stretching out and stuff, and he's close with, Skubal, and he ended up throwing a ball to him, and they were kind of laughing. And I'm like, well, this is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that before between 2 starters out there, but it might have been a situation too where it was maybe a little overwhelming going up against his old team where he spent 4 years. I don't know. He'd have to answer that, but it just didn't look real good from the beginning. That's for sure.
Yeah, and then on top of all of that, too, his own error led to a couple of runs.
Yeah.
And then the Joey Ortiz error, I thought, in the second inning, right? I mean, to set the scene, it's 2-0, top of the second inning, and the leadoff walk to Javi Baez. And, I'll just say that sentence again. A leadoff walk to Javier Baez. That's never a recipe for success. But a ground ball to short, that Joey Ortiz, we've seen him field that ball 100 times out of 100, and he bobbles it in the transfer. Everybody's safe. That could have been a 6-4-3 double play. And Kreidler runs well, but, I mean, this had an opportunity to be 6-4-3, bases empty, 2 outs. Instead, it's runners on first and second, nobody out, and then you get an out on the fielder's choice on the double pump by Hoskins, but they weren't going to turn 2 there with McKinstry speed. Base hit, then a comebacker, and then another comebacker. It's just like, what just happened? And, oh, by the way, it's now 4-0.
Yeah, and those comebackers, by the way, hit Alexander, and
exactly.
The first one may have done a little bit of a physical pain damage to him on his leg, but and then the next batter, boom, he gets hit again. So I mean, look, if you're giving up all these walks and then there's 2 errors behind you, and then you're physically getting hit by balls in play, things aren't going your way. So this entire night, unfortunately, from the very beginning, just added up to nothing going right for the Brew Crew. I mean, look, you got a strikeout to start the game, and then walks batter number 2 in Torres, and he ends up scoring. So you're like, okay, this is not the start anybody wants. And if you can't clean it up afterwards, which this team was not able to do, then, by the time this thing's over, you're looking at another, as Murph said, another blowout loss. And this team going back to last year, is not used to losing this way. Let's just put it that way. They're usually a very, very competitive 9-inning team.
I agree. And that leads to a question that comes in on the text line. This one from Grayson, wondering what you think the reason is for all the blowouts last year. The Brewers prided themselves on being in every single game, and it comes back to the pitching staff. And again, it can be viewed as an excuse, but it's just the truth. And this is not an insult, but the caliber of pitchers that are on the injured list is a full starting five. I mean, it all starts with the starting pitching. And the Brewers are digging deep for it right now. It's why they had to make a trade for Quinn Priester. You've got, of your opening day rotation, the only guy that's still in it is Freddie Peralta. I just remind folks that this is not how deep they wanted to go on the depth chart. You know, if you can imagine, if I could compare this to last year, right, Craig? Imagine if it was Freddie Peralta, and then your two, with respect, is Colin Ray, and then your 3 is Bryce Wilson, and your 4 is Carlos Rodriguez, and then your 5 is a bullpen game. I mean, that's how deep in the barrel the Brewers are going right now, and I'm not trying to slight anybody in that clubhouse. They can understand that this is an opportunity, this is an organizational opportunity to pitch better, but at the same time, it's like there are better pitchers on the injured list right now.
Yeah, and look, the bullpen was pressed into duty to, start games in the first week of this season too. So, I mean, all those points are absolute fact, and then the other absolute fact is they're just not getting enough offense right now. I mean, we've talked about this a few times, Dom, about in the triangle of success in baseball. If one of your quadrants is not performing, can the other ones pick it up? And, the defense is a little too sloppy right now, and the offense is incredibly inconsistent because there are just, quite frankly, so many guys that aren't producing much right now. And so this is just, this is a bad recipe over the last 3 games. I mean, every game has been a little bit different in how they've lost.
Yep. Well, the good news is there are reinforcements on the way. Take a breather and talk a little bit about the guy that kept the Brewers down today, Tarek Skubal. Man, that was impressive stuff from him. Back with more after this on 620 WTMJ.
The most common reason pain sufferers come to us is to be able to perform their daily tasks without suffering through them. Grandparents who want to be able to take their grandkids on walks and to the park. Or those that just want to be able to get out of their vehicle with more ease than pain. Rejuvenex pain treatments can help, and the sooner you get to calming down that pain, the better it will be. These are powerful, FDA-approved pain treatments precisely administered with an extremely small needle to get to the root of your pain. And before you know it, you'll feel the anti-inflammatory power of Toradol and the cushioning relief of hyaluronic acid. Positive patient results are regularities, not rarities. And we do this conveniently in office, so it's very easy for you. And we're in network with most insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid, which could mean zero out-of-pocket costs for your pain relief treatment.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
For those with a warm weather fashion passion, try St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, because that's where you'll find a vast array of men's, women's, girls, and boys' warm weather apparel at the friendliest prices. So many choices, and at such a value. You can fill the closet without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers fall today 9-1. They have lost 3 in a row. Tomorrow, they'll have Quinn Priester on the mound against Jack Flaherty. Same time, 6:40 first pitch. We're on the air at 6:05. This is Brewers Extra Innings, 855-616-1620. Again, 855-616-1620 is the phone number. I'm Dom Cotroneo, along with Craig Kashan. Craig, Tarek Skubal, Brewers saw it. They saw him last season in Detroit. They see him again this season in Milwaukee. Yep, as advertised, that dude has this year, they have gold trimmings on the MLB logos on the jerseys for the previous year's award winners. So I am coining the phrase, yep, he's got that gold on him. And there's a reason for it, because holy cow, that was impressive. 7 shutout innings, 9 strikeouts. He's pumping 100 in his last inning of work in a 9-0 game. You think these dudes don't care? You think these dudes aren't competitors just because it's 9-0? Skubal showed, I'm coming for a second straight Cy Young this year.
Isn't that something? I mean, we don't get the chance to see him, in person very often. But, if you think about the 3 straight pitchers the Brewers have faced here during this 3-game losing streak, with aces and Burns, former Cy Young Award winner, Skubal winning it last year on the AL side, this guy was heads and shoulders above everybody else. So he didn't give Milwaukee a chance, and that's a credit to him, to be perfectly honest with you. He had great location. All his pitches were superb that he mixed in well. And as you mentioned, Dom, he's dealing 100 in the middle of the game in the 6th inning. 7 shutout innings, didn't walk anybody, was in complete control. From a baseball fan base, you have to appreciate what you saw tonight. I mean, this guy just completely dominated, and there's going to be way more of that tonight for Tiger fans to enjoy.
This is somebody that has a long injury history. He had Tommy John in college. He had issues on his way up in the organization, and then started to flash signs of what he's capable of a couple seasons ago, and then it all clicked together with health last season. And it's just a strong dude. I mean, he went to school in Kingman, Arizona in high school, which is, just south of Nevada. It's not the Phoenix area. It's just south of Las Vegas. And then went to school at Seattle U, because you're the only ones that wanted him. I mean, he's a success story in itself. I'm just so impressed with what he did. And you said it perfectly. He didn't give the Brewers a chance, and they didn't have one. I mean, I was looking at my scorecard here, I'm like, all right, let's make sure I don't make a mistake here. Once we were through 4 innings and there hadn't been a base runner, I'm like, let's make sure things are nice and clean on this one, just in case. And obviously, no perfecto tonight. But, I mean, that's the kind of stuff he had, the way it looked. And everyone was kind of whispering, like, oh, boy, it didn't matter who was in there. It could have been the 27 Yankees for all I care. Skubal was dominating tonight.
Yeah, he was. And I mean, look, forget about what the score even was by the 5th inning before Hoskins finally got the Brewers' first base hit. It was a single followed by, 3 quick outs. And then in the 6th inning, the Brewers were able to get 3 singles off him. But, Dom, they were station to station. I mean, it's bases loaded, and he gets a big strikeout on Hoskins to end the 6th inning. And as you said, he showed his emotion quite a bit right there. He's a competitor. He didn't care what the score was at that point. It was 0-0, and he needed a big out and went and got it himself. So just another example of how good this guy is.
And right before that strikeout to Hoskins with the bases loaded, 2 pitches before it, he hit a grand slam that was about 15 yards foul. I mean, it was like, That's the game. That's the game. Like, it's such a fine margin, and Reese is close. I know he's frustrated, but it's just like, who cares? It's foul ball. Strike 3, you're out, and that's the way baseball goes. Overall, on the offensive front, I mean, we talked about it a little bit with the Diamondback series, but I want to bring up an idea. This one, a text from Kevin. I think it's a good time to look at Durbin. We'll talk about that as well. But another tweet that came in asking, I know it's a lefty. I know it's Tarik Skubal. Why not put Turang in the top third of the order, even against the lefty? Because he gets another knockoff of Skubal today. He's hitting lefties better this season. I'm not saying he's suddenly hitting the ball out of the ballpark against lefties too, but I'm just saying your best hitters need to hit the most. And with respect to Isaac Collins, I want to see one more at-bat from Bryce Turang than I do from Isaac Collins. But at the same time, I understand the platoon. I understand that Isaac is better from the right side. Maybe you find a way to put Turang a little bit higher in this order, even though it's a lefty, because he's the guy hitting, and I want to give him an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's something that I thought about, too, early in this game. And it's hard. Look, we cover this team every day. We know who's swinging the bat well and who isn't. And the guy swinging the bat the best, for the most part, right now is Bryce Turang, and it's really hard to see him in that number 9 spot in games like this. So it would be nice if that was under some consideration here in the near future. I agree with you, Dom, because if you're going to be facing a lot of lefties, which they certainly have quite a bit here to start out the season, no disrespect to Isaac Collins, but I think one thing that's always kind of bothered me a little bit over the years is when somebody like Christian Yelich gets a breather and doesn't play on this night, and the guy who replaces him is a bench guy. why is he batting in Christian's spot? Can't you mix up the order a little bit? I mean, obviously you could, but we'll see if that's something that would be considered in the future. But it is hard to watch your best hitter hit ninth.
Yeah, and this is not a knock on Isaac Collins.
No.
He goes 0 for 3. No. He's far from the only guy that went 0 for 3 tonight. Okay, so it's one of those things that the Brewers have said for a long time, the best hitters hit the most. The best hitters hit at the top of the order. Bryce Turang arguably is your best hitter on the team right now. It's him and Jackson Churio. I know the guy is left-handed on the mound, but if Bryce Turang is going to be an everyday player in the show, like he is becoming a pillar of this team, I want him higher in the order. That's my take on it, and I'm going to stand by it. A text here, though, on Caleb Durbin. When does the third base experiment keep rolling on? Because, again, Scuba was great tonight. Vinny Capra, Oliver Dunn, a combined 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts between those two guys. Capra hasn't had an extra base hit since the home run on opening day. Oliver Dunn had the error yesterday that was consequential with an unearned run. Again, Capra is out of options. Dunn is optionable. I wonder, because Durbin still needs some work defensively at third, but do you exchange that defense for a little bit more offense? I know these conversations are happening within the walls for the Brewers front office.
Yeah, they are. There's no question about that. But the big thing, Dom, is what do they do, and who is that person you replace these guys with to say he's going to be a better option here right now? I guess that's just the tough part about going into spring, with that being a question mark, and hoping somebody like the guys we're talking about would step forward. And obviously, as this season has gone, that hasn't been the case. So I guess my question is, when do you start looking outside the organization to plug that hole? Because it's a hole right now. There's no doubt about it.
It certainly is, and something to be figured out for the crew as they move forward. I'm going to keep you for one quick segment coming up on the other side of this break, Craig, as we're going to talk a little bit about this club moving forward, because they have an opportunity still ahead of them, and I'll explain why coming up after the break on 620 WTMJ.
While you rest on the weekends, we work for you. Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. The latest in news.
That was such a tragedy, but this indictment brings this story to a whole other level.
Entertainment.
Well, I can tell you it is not going to be like Garfield, the movie that Bill Murray can never shake.
And more.
What's this I'm hearing about some local breweries expanding?
Probably spurred by Harley-Davidson executives needing a drink.
Every Sunday morning starting at 8 on WTMJ.
It's party time at Cousins Subs. For a limited time only, Cousins is bringing back their famous 2-foot party subs. Whether it's for a big game, family gathering, or work celebration, Cousins 2-foot party sub is sure to be a crowd pleaser. Choose from the club, ham and provolone, Italian special, or turkey. Each party sub is just $39.99, feeds 5 to 8 people, and requires 24-hour notice to order. Order today through April 27th in store, online, or on their app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers, where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers. This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers Extra Innings is brought to you in part by Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Spring is here. It actually did kind of feel like spring today. That was some good news. So warmer weather is eventually on the way, but is your AC ready to keep you cool? Right now at Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical, you can get $25 off an AC tune-up, but hurry, this deal is only good through the end of April. Visit cider.com to schedule your appointment today. That's SEIDER.com. We briefly touched on it after you had signed off yesterday, Craig, about the rehab outings that Brandon Woodruff and Tobias Myers have been embarked on down in AAA Nashville. They'll make a couple more this week. And today, Pat Murphy hinted that Tobias could only need one more start, meaning he will start again this week with the Sounds, and then even put a date saying he could be with the crew when they go to San Francisco next week. There's your first set of reinforcements. They probably want at least 3 more starts out of Brandon Woodruff in AAA Nashville, but they're really encouraged with how much he's been bouncing back, probably a multiple 5-inning outings for him once he gets back down there. But that's 2 key pieces of reinforcements on the way, and that's 2 reshuffles of this bullpen of guys that are starting now that don't need to be starting in the future, and perhaps you rearrange roles in the bullpen, you option guys to get their work in. I'm continuing to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I know it feels rough now losing 9-1, but I'm just like, okay, you can see the plan. It's only April, and they should be getting healthy soon.
Well, you're right in the way the injuries mounted so quickly to the starting staff, from spring training right to the first, 2 weeks of the season. A couple of those were head scratchers going, geez, what happened? What's happening to this starting staff here right now? But the news for Myers, the good news really, especially for him, is, he's been pretty much right on schedule with things. And if he can, join the team and get a start in San Francisco, that'd be great. That's a long road trip coming up for Milwaukee, another one out west to start out with. But I'll tell you what, the Brandon Woodruff situation, we've seen him in the clubhouse plenty of times, Dom. We've talked to him. He's nothing but, the gem of a person that he is, and how hard he's working. After he had that rehab start over the weekend, just talking briefly today about it, you could just tell there was a lot more giddy up in his step. He was, a little more jolly, if you will, because I think he's very encouraged on how this whole process has gone. It's been a long one. There's been no guarantees that he would come back, be able to come back, and he is getting very, very close. And the only way that he's going to come all the way back is because he is incredibly patient and incredibly hardworking. And I can't wait to see this success story finish up and for him to get back to the majors, because obviously this team needs him right now, but more for him, it would be a hell of a story.
And then this text that came in from the 414, I just want to correct him, just saying that knowing that this was the pitching situation before spring training, they didn't want to address it. I completely disagree, because the opening day rotation when you started spring training should have been, and I'm not even including Woodruff in this, should have been Freddie Peralta, Tobias Myers, Nestor Cortez, Aaron Savali, and probably Aaron Ashby while Woodruff builds back up. But right now, it is obviously not that. So much so that during spring training, they signed Jose Quintana. And now, 2 weeks into the season, they trade for another starter in Quinn Priester. The Brewers are pivoting. They are trying to make this work in the short term. Every game does matter. And all games in April just matter the same as they do in September. Keep afloat. Keep things okay. When you're healthy by the end of May, this team looks like finally as it was intended. And then maybe, like you said, they're looking externally to fill holes on the offense. And you're really cooking with gas by the summertime. Everybody's hitting. Everybody's in a better mood. And this should still be a race in the Central.
Yeah, and it all starts with pitching. I mean, we talked about it earlier in the show. Everything that's going on with this club right now is still about pitching, and they know that they're very close to getting this fixed. And you're right. I'm not looking for them to make position player trades here at this point. They've already made a trade and an acquisition or two in the last month that's already helping this pitching staff. And so let's get everybody back, or close to everybody back. Let's get the performances and the production that you need out of these guys, and then see where you're going to go. Because if something, let's just say on the dark end, if something happened to this pitching staff, like we've seen already since early March on, there's really not a big point of making big trades for position players if you don't have a staff to go with. So be patient. It's going to happen, and I really believe some good things are going on here. It's only April 14th, folks. Only April 14th.
Exactly, and that's why we bring you on. You're the voice of reason. Sometimes you need to hear somebody else say it from me, and it all makes sense. There's so much time. That's why we play 162 of them. Craig Kashan joining us here on WTMJ. We'll talk to you again tomorrow, my friend, hopefully recapping a W.
All right, sounds good, Dom. See you then.
All right, Craig Kashan on WTMJ. Up next, we're going to hear from the manager, Pat Murphy, as the Brewers fall 9-1 tonight. 855-616-1620. Again, 855-616-1620 on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Amish outdoor furniture with poly and wood available. And that poly is the richest of outdoor furniture. It's just about indestructible and will virtually last forever. At Erickson's, we have poly furniture in abundance, so you're guaranteed to see a great selection. The beauty of it is you can put it outside all year round and not worry about it, because the color runs all the way through, so it doesn't fade, and minor nicks and scratches won't hurt the look. Erickson's Landscape Supply. For an abundant selection of poly and wood Amish outdoor furniture, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. You'll be hard-pressed to find a better selection of metal yard art than we have here at Erickson's. Anything from natural and painted metal signs to painted roosters from 1 to 6 feet tall. Natural steel flying ducks and cattails. Cute little frogs, geckos, pigs, flamingos, and goats. And palm trees. The list is endless. And that's why you come here. Erickson's Landscape Supply, right on Spring Street in Union Grove, where you'll find a fantastic array of artisanal metal yard art. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Or better yet, drive on over and take a gander at the goods.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
All right, you've heard me and Craig talk for plenty about this loss. 9-1 the final, by the way. How about you hear from the manager, Pat Murphy, as the Brewers lose in this one. Pretty candid comments, and I always enjoy listening to Murph because he's honest. So I'll have Murph take it away from here.
Yeah, this is the fourth time we've been blown out in 17 games. We didn't get blown out 4 times in 162, I don't think. But this is the fourth time in 17 games, so that is concerning. But really tonight it was the defense that let us down. Whether it was positioning or whether it was not making plays, maybe getting an out but not getting 2 when you could have got 2 on a ball. So I think the defense made it a different game. But credit to Skubal. I mean, he was sensational.
It's a small part. Or when you know, like, Skubal's not going to give you many mistakes. So does that put more pressure on your defense, right? You've got to be.
No, I mean, I think Alexander, the numbers don't look pretty for him, but this kid has sucked it up for us and taken on a role that's not normal to him, and it's not what we signed him for, but because of our pitching injuries, he had to do it. And Alvin Rodriguez came in and did a great job himself. A little different time to pitch when you're already down 9-0, but no discredit to Alvin. He did great, and Alexander didn't pitch as bad as the numbers look. He really didn't, but should have been about a 3-0 game, and maybe the credit to Detroit the way they swung it, but we didn't defend. So maybe it does put a little more pressure that it's going to be a low-scoring game, and you got to be perfect. But we didn't make routine plays. We weren't in the right spot. We didn't take the right angles on balls. Things like that. So attributed to a long road trip, attributed to a lot of nonsense if you want to. There's always a built-in excuse if you want one, but let's not do that. If we're going to be good, if we're going to be really, really good and competitive, it's concerning that you've been blown out 4 times in 17 games. We've had a lot of pitching injuries, as you guys know, a lot. We still have a lot of guys out, so we're not at full strength. We didn't just lose one starter like some teams have. We've lost 4 at least, or without 4 from the beginning. But this team is going to be good, and I believe this team's going to be good. In my heart, I believe that. But these are the things you go through. There's not as much margin for error in some games, and they can look ugly.
How important was it for Alvin to get through as many innings as he did?
Well, it was just good for Alvin. It's good for his major league career. It's good for him. Again, that's one of the easier times to pitch, but for him to suck it up with 70 pitches basically and get through 5 innings is really indicative of how good this guy could be. So it's a nice addition. You know what I mean? It's a guy that we didn't know if he was going to be on our big league staff to start, but with all the injuries he is, and that's his best outing. That's really good.
Or if the mix that he was using tonight was a lot different than what we had seen before. Do you think he kind of figured something out tonight?
No, I think it's important that you bob and weave like that. Like when you get knocked around a little bit in some games, you say to yourself, okay, what adjustments can I make? What about this? Maybe this is a better pitch than I thought. Maybe I'll go about it a little differently. So credit to him.
Maybe we'll talk about him a little bit more coming up in the next segment. That's Pat Murphy here on WTMJ. Elvin Rodriguez deserves certainly some credit, and we talked about it at the top of the show. Let's go a little bit deeper coming up next on 620 WTMJ.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The angels asked the women at the tomb, "Why do you look for the living one among the dead?" This is Archbishop Jeffrey Grubb. The women thought they would find Jesus there. We often look for things in the wrong places. During this Jubilee year, the Holy Father has asked us to be signs of hope for others. Many of our young people seek to find meaning in their lives and may be in need of signs of hope. We need to reach out to them, invite them back to the faith, and show them the hope and love they can find in Jesus. Please join us at Mass.
Brew City is ready to celebrate the draft's return to Wisconsin. Milwaukee Tailgate Week, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook, April 24th through the 26th. It features a variety of gridiron activations for all ages, steeped in Milwaukee's iconic sports history, its attractions, brews, pubs, restaurants, and venues. The festivities culminate on Saturday, April 26th with Jordy Nelson's Milwaukee Tailgate with Inside the Huddle Live. Buy your tickets now for only $10 and learn more at visitmilwaukee.org/tailgate.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex.com.
Transform the way you do business with Fifth Third Bank's Commercial Payments Solutions. Our market expertise and managed services streamline your entire payment process, seamlessly integrating with your existing systems to give you unparalleled control. Discover new revenue sources, save time, reduce operating costs, and boost your bottom line with our customized payment solutions. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores has been voted the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel's best in thrift. So to all who voted for us, thank you. And to those who haven't yet been here, there are so many items to explore. And at thrift store prices, you can find a really great deal. At the same time, you'll be helping us help others, sometimes folks right in your own neighborhood. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Talk a little Elvin Rodriguez before we get ready to say goodbye, because, again, that was really important what he did today. Only allowed one run, but it was 8-0 when he entered the game. But to suddenly flash the strikeouts, so what gives? Why is he suddenly throwing strikeouts, especially against a team that doesn't strike out? They came into tonight with the 5th fewest strikeouts in baseball. 7 Ks. Well, when you look at his usage and compared to his first couple of games, he went back to more of a breaking ball heavy approach, which are arguably his better pitches. He threw 21 four-seamers, which, I mean, you got to start with the fastball. But then the curveball and the sweeper combined, he threw 34 of those. So that's a great sign that he's finding the grip of those pitches. In fact, he had 6 whiffs on those 2 breaking balls today and 2 more whiffs on the four-seamer too. But when you add it all up, when you look at breaking balls in particular in these first 3 games that he's pitched in, he's only thrown a total of 34 breaking balls in the first 3 games that he had pitched in as a Brewer. He threw 34 breaking balls tonight. That's why he had a little bit of success, I think. And maybe finding that grip, and you heard Pat Murphy talk about it, trusting it, firing it over and over again, and you're able to get something to work. Keep an eye on that. Now, his role in the bullpen is a not sexy one, but it's a role that pops up every now and then a night like tonight, you remember, like, oh, he found the grip of something tonight in a 9-1 game of all games. So you find a silver lining from it, and you move on. We'll take our last break and preview tomorrow. Brewers fall 9-1 on 620 WTMJ.
Hey Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast feed. Everything Bucks, on demand, in one spot. From sideline to sideline, hear all the ankle-breaking, rim-rattling, and twine-tingling highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe to the Bucks Central podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. All the Bucks content your heart desires in one spot. Check out the Bucks Central podcast feed.
Are you tired of being tired? Go to AdventKnows.com.
Trust in your family's comfort at home with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. They're the oldest family-owned HVAC company in southeast Wisconsin. 4 generations of Ciders, and their highly trained technicians provide a one-stop shop for all home and business comfort needs, including an emergency service line that's always live and a 12-year parts and labor warranty on all Daikin products. Get peace of mind by scheduling maintenance today with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. That's SEIDER, cider.com.
Okay, adventurers, listen up. Fox World Travel just dropped some seriously incredible Fox Group vacation destinations for 2026. Set sail on a yacht through the Croatian coastline, join a thrilling African safari, or immerse yourself in the mecca of all flower shows in London. And for the first time, we're introducing a woman's-only tour, partnering with Insight Vacations, Globus, and African Travel. But these are just a few of the exclusive offerings. But don't wait. They're filling up fast. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO to reserve your spot today.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Alrighty, that'll do it for us here tonight. Not much else to talk about from this one. Brewers fall 9-1. But back same time, same place tomorrow. It is a 6:40 first pitch. We're on the air at 6:05 with the network pregame show. Lane Grindle and Josh Maurer have the call tomorrow. Our producer has been Nate Rilling. My name is Dominic Cotroneo. Shake it off. Back at it tomorrow. And until then, keep on swinging.
Brewers baseball is here. Time to pick your Brewers games and get back to the ballpark for tailgate traditions and walk-off wins. Don't miss any of the big games or the superstars. And come back for the best giveaways. Where else would you want to be? Brewers tickets for the 2025 season are on sale now. That's every game all summer long. Get on board for the show today. Grab your seats at brewers.com/ticket finder.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin, the buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's